From the Weather NorCal Command Center, this is your morning update.
Daniels Roofing, licensed, bonded, insured roofing contractor. 45 years of generational expertise, offering a variety of roofing systems in the North State. Composition shingles, metal, tile, fire-safe wood shingles, and spray foam roofing systems. An energy-saving cool roof, perfect for commercial flat roofs and mobile homes. With other companies, you may get a foreman or a salesman, but with Daniels Roofing, you get Daniel. Call today for your free estimate. Daniels Roofing, 3 generations working hard to protect your home and business.
All right, so you come to Weather NorCal because you know I can give one of the most detailed forecasts that you will find here in Northern California. But sometimes that detailed forecast can take some time. And if you have the time to watch, great, right? You get all the information you need and probably even more. But if you are in a hurry and you don't have time to watch that detailed forecast, I've got an answer for you. It's called Kruger's QuickCast. And in about 1 to 2 minutes, you can watch Kruger's QuickCast and know with confidence what to expect as you head out the door in the morning. Whether it's going to be hot, whether it's going to be smoky, the works, right? So go to weathernorcal.com, forecast videos. It's the same place you get this video, just right there in that same spot. Now, you could also access it from the free Weather NorCal app. Also, just go to the forecast videos and you are watching Kruger's QuickCast before you know it. All right, let's get to that detailed forecast, and I'm talking about what I'm known for, right? So we look at the headlines. We've got minor relief from the heat today. We're going to notice a slight dip in our temperatures. We're not going to see as many record-breaking temperatures, but just as quickly as we cool things off a little bit, right, still hot, we're going to heat back up again. So we got another little mini heat wave coming in after today. Still looking at the hot and dry conditions to keep the fire danger elevated. And another thing I got to watch for now is it looks like maybe sometime this weekend we could be looking at the potential for some monsoon moisture coming in, and that could mean the potential for thunderstorms in the mountains this weekend. We'll take a closer look at that here in a second, but take a look at this. Speaking of the fires and the firefighters, hey, this is just kind of a great reminder of the hard work that they do for us. This is out at the sunset at Neyland Airport. Just a beautiful shot. You got the stars, there's the sunset, nice silhouette of a helicopter, courtesy of Austin Grissom. Now, Austin used the free Weather NorCal app to send in this photo. If you want to share your photos, it's easy. Just do it from the free Weather NorCal app. I'll share it. I like to share one a day right here on the morning update, Coffee with Kruger in the morning, starting at 7 a.m., and of course on social media as well. If you don't have the app, why not? Check it out. Go to your app store, download for free. If you don't like it, take it off your phone, but I think you're going to like it. All right, here's your neighborhood forecast at a glance. Again, there's that minor relief. It's still hot. Don't get me wrong. I said the word minor. It's a minor relief, but it's relief nonetheless. But as I mentioned, those temperatures are going up. We'll get to that here in a second here. All right, so here's the detailed forecast. Here's the latest on the fires. We're going to start with the Shelley fire because that's the biggest one. That's one of the biggest concern. What I'm seeing here is good, okay? This is good news. We're not seeing red all over the map, because if we saw red all over the map, that would tell us that that's recent activity. The fire has been very active. But what this is telling me is that overnight, the fire hasn't been as active, and that is about 24 hours old. So that's good to see. Now I want to show you the latest fire perimeter. Here it is right here, all the way. Kind of hard to see, but you can see it. What I've done is I've taken the outer perimeter of that fire and I've mapped to see how far it is from these communities. So you can see for Fort Jones is about 10 miles, for Greenview about 5.4 miles, and for Etna about 5.7 miles. Now keep in mind too, the fire has grown in the last 24 hours. As I was reporting yesterday, at this time over 3,000 acres. Now it is approaching 6,000 acres, and once you look at that, we're still at about 0% containment. All right, let's take you down to the south. We're going to take a look at the fire perimeter for the Thompson fire. Now, here's the good news. We can take this off our radar now. It's 100% contained. As of last night, it was reported, and the final containment number here at acres is 3,789 acres. All right, so that's good. All right, before we get to that smoke forecast, we're going to go ahead and take a look at some other details about these fires here, and we're going to get you right into it here. Let's start with the cameras. So this is your typical one from Fort Jones that I've been showing here for quite a while. We're going to take you back about 12 hours. You can see all the smoke before sunset yesterday, and look how active it was. All right, now as we go on overnight, there you can see, yeah, we're seeing it burning there, but notice they're going to turn it back towards it. They should eventually get to it. There you go. All right, so you see what's happening here is you can't quite see that glow, although unfortunately it's looking away from the fire. At least that was. Let's try Fort Jones 2. Let's see what that looks like. Let's see if we can do a time lapse on that one as well and kind of get an idea here. So there's all the smoke. They're kind of moving the camera around. We're looking in the last 12 hours. They kind of move it around for their, for their reasons here. They need to kind of check other aspects here. So you can see overnight there was still some of that glow, but not as much glow as we've seen here in recent days or the last 24 hours. So again, that map that I was showing you, and I want to show you this too. This is a really good indication too. So yesterday, see, even before sunset, look how much it was glowing and how hot the fire was burning. Then overnight, look how it just relaxed. We're not seeing as much of a heat signature coming from that fire. So again, that's really good news. All right, we're going to take a look at some of the air quality out there, and there you can see around the vicinity of the fire is where we're seeing most of the air quality kind of depleted. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, west, north, and east of the fire. I mean, it works its way even into eastern Siskiyou County and even barely affecting the Modoc County as well. But we've also got a fire in southern Oregon that is also impacting air quality, especially in Siskiyou County. So let's take a look at the latest on the Shelley fire. Again, 5,745 acres, 0% containment. There are still evacuation warnings. Now, still looking at Greenview with an evacuation order. Heading up north on Highway 3, it is just west of Fort Jones that you've got the evacuation warning, meaning be ready, but you don't have to leave just yet. And it's not including most of the community of Etna, but you can see heading down west of Highway 3, it's mainly in the form of a evacuation warning and then evacuation order turning red. So the main community right now that is an evacuation order, and has been since yesterday, is Greenview. Otherwise, Fort Jones under an evacuation warning, and as well, just kind of in the Etna area, but not necessarily Etna itself in that warning. So that is kind of good to see there. But again, that fire is growing, and it's continuing to grow as well. All right, let's take a look at some of the other fires in the area. There's the Bogus fire, and as you can see, there are evacuation warnings there as well. You've got York Road within that, Windmill Point, but surrounding that, so you've got Agar, what is that? Agar, it's hard for me to read that. Beswick Road. Agar Beswick Road. South of that is where you have the evacuation order. And then, of course, you can see the evacuation warnings around that. 200 acres as of right now. No containment is being reported. 2 night helicopters were currently on the scene, but that is as of 8 hours ago. All right, now we're going to zoom it out here, and we're going to take you over to the North Fire, which is 4,389 acres. This is approximately 10 hours ago, 50% containment. Hopefully overnight they were able to get more containment. We'll probably be getting more reports from that as we go through the morning hours. Keep in mind I'm recording this between the hours of 5 and 6 in the morning, so that's the latest data as of that point. But there you can see right there, looks like all of the evacuation warnings have been taken off, and not to mention orders. So that is good news. And of course, there's the Thompson fire looking good. We've got a George fire here, nothing to be terribly concerned about. It's about an acre. Hopefully it hasn't grown too much. And you've got the Mina fire, or the Minna fire, 55 acres, 7 hours ago. No reports of any containment there as well. So yeah, be sure to check that out. By the way, I want you to go to weathernorcal.com. And if you want to use this map that I've just been showing you here, here's a one-stop shop for you. Go to weathernorcal.com, click on the fire danger section, and it will have everything you need to know about the current fires. Of course, watch duty will be right there for you. You've got, of course, all the evacuations, latest on fire conditions. So be sure to check that out. I think you'll really find it useful. weathernorcal.com. Let's take a look at the forecast smoke. And again, really it's the vicinity of the actual fire itself where we're seeing most of the smoke. And of course, you got that the fire in southern Oregon that's producing smoke for Modoc County, and of course not to mention the Minna fire down to the south here. But we're looking at most of the smoke coming in from the Shelley fire in southern Oregon, and really what we're seeing here is that smoke, these smoke plumes that we see during the day, and then hopefully we start to see them kind of relax a little bit here as we do go into the overnight hours. But the winds, yeah, they're still breezy, more breezy than I would like to see, but the good news is no major wind events, fairly calm winds to start off the day Wednesday, and really over overall the wind shouldn't be too terrible, but still a little breezy out there. We're also seeing some pretty good forecast relative, or should I say relative humidity recovery, that is. But as we go into the afternoon, still very dry conditions will prevail. But again, you see in the morning hours, we see some decent recovery, some good numbers there. But then, of course, they drop through the afternoon. Looks like it's not going to be quite as dry over the next 24, 48 hours for Trinity County and Siskiyou County. That may be just of a little bit of help for the firefighters, especially for the Shelley fire. But we still have that, at least the high to very high fire danger for the areas in orange, which does include many areas for Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Lassen, and not to mention the mountains of Shasta County as well. And of course, Wednesday, pretty much the same situation. Where that time of the year, it's just hot and dry. And that's going to keep that fire danger elevated. It's the winds that we've really got to keep a close eye on. And hopefully we don't get any major wind events. We still have heat advisories, heat warnings out there pretty much through this week for most of us, and that's the case even heading off into the western United States. So again, yes, we're seeing minor relief today, but there's going to be another heat wave over the next couple of days after this, all right? So we can see that big ridge of high pressure that's still in place. We have this big void of clouds. This is the area of high pressure that was on top of us, giving us the record-breaking heat. All-time highs for some areas here on Saturday. It was right on top of us. Now it's to our south. We're seeing some minor relief from that heat. Now look what happens as we go into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This area of high pressure will expand and build even larger, and as a result, that's going to give us warmer temperatures. All right, so that's through Friday. But then you see this little trough low pressure right here. What it's doing is it's helping to push that heat off to our east. So we'll start to see some better relief by the second half of the weekend and early next week. You see again another trough right here. Even though it's not cold air perhaps per se, it is warm air. It's not the heat that we've been dealing with here. So we could even look at the potential for it dropping below 100 degrees for parts of the valley, but that's not guaranteed at this point. So remember, I was talking about 6 consecutive days of 110 plus degree temperatures being the record we've seen since records have taken in 1893, 78, 1988, and 5 days in 1920. Well, taking a look at what we've seen so far since July 3rd, we got up to 110 plus. We've been looking at consecutive days of 6 days. But when we look at our trend, we're going to break that trend of 110 plus today, but then we're back up. So honestly, if we're going to be this hot, I would like to see us at least break the record. But it looks like we're going to tie the record. We're going to break the streak today, back up to 110 for 3 more days through Friday, at least for Redding. But there's that relief by Sunday going into next week. 102, 103 doesn't sound like relief, but when we're dealing with temperatures 110 plus, 102, 103 certainly does sound better. Now, we're still seeing some of that fog along the coast, maybe not as much as we saw yesterday for today. Looks like it's a little bit more patchy. And then as we go into tonight, tomorrow morning, we may see more of that fog developing, especially around Humboldt Bay, southward on the Highway 101. And then, of course, looks like it may clear out a little bit more for Wednesday afternoon for places like Delnor County, for example. And then again, it gets a little patchy here for Thursday morning. Now, remember I was talking about the potential for thunderstorms in the mountains here as we go into the weekend. Let's take a look at it. See that monsoon moisture trying to work its way in. Now, it looks like most of the showers and thunderstorms will be to the east of us, but we can't rule out some of that coming into parts of Lassen County and Modoc County. That's this Saturday. Now, again, that's something we're going to have to watch here closely. But at this point after that, it looks like most of that monsoon moisture should stay to our east. But we're going to have to watch for that potential for it to shift a little. All we have to do is take that high pressure and shift it a little bit more to the west, and now we got more of that monsoon moisture coming in. So that's something I'm tracking. Not too concerned about it just yet, but it is something that's on my radar. All right, take a look at the wave heights. They're going to be fairly low here for today. They do get a little bit higher, though, as we go into your Wednesday. But that being said, no advisories, no watches, anything of that nature. West winds at about 5 knots. There's going to be some of that patchy morning fog, but burning off a little bit more than we saw yesterday. There's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Those temperatures, yeah, over 100 degrees, but there's that relief by the second half of the weekend. Everyone of course, with the exception of the coast. The coast is going to be in the mid to upper 60s for the next 7 days. A little cooler today with a high of about 61. Boy, I tell you, that's the place to go cool off. 103 out in Orleans, 109 for Willow Creek. So yes, it's still very hot out there. But again, we're seeing that relief by Sunday into early next week. Still hot in Siskiyou County. Temperatures about 100 degrees here. Now, looks like Mount Shasta, you should drop below 100 degrees today and then again by Friday. And then low 90s for Mount Shasta by Sunday, Monday. For Modoc County, yeah, we're talking mainly upper 90s, although El Tourist, you could touch that 100-degree mark through Friday. Looks like mid-90s by Sunday and Monday. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, yeah, touching 100 degrees in some spots like Susanville and Janesville. Otherwise, Susanville, you should drop into the mid-90s by Sunday, Monday. Your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Yeah, there it is. Those temperatures staying 100 degrees or higher. Look at Chico, though. I mean, you're just flirting with dropping below 100 by Monday of next week. Looks pretty promising there. And taking you up to the north, 108 for the city of Shasta Lake. Not to mention out towards Redding, 107 for Red Bluff. And looking at your 7-day outlook, 108 degrees. We're breaking that streak of 110 plus today, but we're back up to 110 plus by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That's what I was talking about. Listen, if we tied a record yesterday, we might as well break a record if we're going to still be this hot, right? And then 108 on Saturday and then down to 102. Again, that sounds a lot better, right? For Sunday, Monday of next week.
Let nothing stand between you and the tree stand with this great offer on the fast, durable Kubota Sidekick. Featuring a gas-powered engine that delivers a top speed of 40 miles per hour, outstanding acceleration and handling with cargo, and a 2-year, 1,000-hour warranty. Get the Sidekick now for 0 down, 0% APR for 36 months or save $1,000.
Tractors, trailers, rentals.
You do it all, we do it local.